There is an invisible force all around us. This current flows silently to power our lives. We can't see it, hear it, smell it, or taste it. But if you know how to harness it and control it, you become the energy. The question is, what would you do with it? Do you have any spare change on you?
Yes, I do.
What you got on you?
Just like a coin.
Yeah, some spare change. Anything for... Yeah, £2 would be great. Yeah, you can put that all away. Just put that in the palm of your hand for me. Great, just right there. And just close your fist around. Yeah, perfect. We're about to experience something very weird. All right, keep your fist closed. Yeah, watch this. Stronger. You can see that shaking now, yeah? Shaking. Keep it closed. Yeah. Put your hand out in front of you like this. Put your arm out in front of you like that. Okay. Now I'm going to send that energy from the top of your fist all the way through, and it's going to come out the bottom. Okay? So squeeze nice and tight.
Yeah.
There we go. Squeeze tight, squeezing tight on 3, 2, 1. Sending that energy through. Squeeze, squeeze. You can feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, relax. Relax. And slowly drop the coin in my hand. Slowly drop it in my hand. Right there. Have a look at that.
This is crazy.
Okay, but now I want you to take this pen. Can you put your initials on the coin for me? Just the first 2 letters there for me, yeah? Yeah, it goes right there for me. Good. Very nice. I'll take that back. Great. So earlier, you felt it bend.
Yeah.
I want you to see it bend.
Okay.
Okay? I want you to see this bend, so watch. Place your hand like this for me, right where my hand is there, like this. Okay, watch. Watch. See right there? And that's your signature on the coin?
Yeah.
Have a look.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you so much. You can keep that as a souvenir.
Wow. Okay, thank you. I always see these things on TV and I'm like, no, this is not true, you know? But now, when you're in it yourself, it's crazy.
You can feel that, yes? I can feel that.
No.
Maybe that's a mind freak.
I'm not a believer, but this is like, it's pretty insane.
Like he made like that, and I could feel the coin like bending his energy, like feel his energy while he was doing this. Then I could feel the coin bending in my hand.
It is straight.
That's impossible.
Kieran, Grant, thank you so much for joining me today. You are, as far as I understand, quite into your sport.
Indeed.
Tell me, what's your current sport and your favorite sport at the moment?
Well, that would be water polo for Hertz High School.
Okay.
Lots of physicality.
Wow, okay.
Very enjoyable.
And Grant, you're into your academics. Tell me, what's your favorite subject?
Physical sciences.
Any particular reason? What is it that grabs you about science?
I enjoy the logic-based problem solving behind it, and I also just enjoy the understanding of your environment around you.
Okay, so when you're playing sport, you're obviously exhibiting a certain energy. There's energy that's there. And when you're problem solving and thinking about all of these things in science, you're also using a certain kind of energy. And the question is, what would happen if we could try and combine these different energies together? And I'd like to show you that, okay? So what we'll do is we'll use something very simple. You can just use a pen for this. And I'll talk you through this. You're going to have to literally do what I show you to do, okay? So you're going to put your hands out like this. And I want you just to imagine in your mind that energy when you're playing water polo, that energy when you're problem solving. I want you to imagine that energy traveling down your head, all the way down your shoulders, into your hands, right down to the fingertips. And then I want you to imagine that energy exiting your hands. I know it sounds crazy, but you have to take this seriously, okay? All right? Does that sound good? I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to see if I can combine this, okay? So what I'll do is I'll place this pen right here, like this. And I want you to put your hands out like this for me. Put your hands out. Focus that energy now all the way down from your head, down your arms into your hands, and focus it onto that pen. Keep staring at the pen. Imagine that energy can exit your hands.
Well played. That was
Got lots of
impressive.
energy. Blown away, actually.
Yeah. Speechless, I guess.
Pretty cool. And the pen was put on the table.
Asked to put our hands out in front of us.
Imagine the energy going to the pen.
And after a period of time, the pen actually was pulled off the desk, like actively.
Don't quite know how to explain it.
I'm not too sure.
I don't know, it seemed pretty real to me. I mean, hard to explain.
As any scientist would say, further testing is needed.
Luke, as a scientist, talk to me a bit about the importance of the scientific method.
Well, the scientific method is a process that you go through where you observe a phenomenon, then you start experimenting with it, and then you see if you can come up with a theory about what fits your observation.
And would I be correct in saying that true science changes over time? Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. Science is an evolving subject. Every new discovery, new insight, and hopefully down the lines we'll see that a lot of the things that we know now might actually not be true, or they might still remain true. That's the nature of science.
Luke, I have something that I'd like to show you. I'd like you to observe, and I'm going to be keen to see your theories on it.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, and I've also got an eraser here. I'd like you just to have a look at that. And I also have a pin here. And you'll see there's a little hole there. I'd like you just to place the pin in that hole for me. All right, this looks relatively good. I'm going to get this perfect. There we go, perfect. Okay. Now here's the experiment, right, Luke? Mm-hmm. I'm going to make this little piece of paper move with my mind. And I want you just to observe, okay?
Sure.
Okay, what do you think of that, Luke?
Well, as we know in science, air is invisible to the naked eye. So when someone blows on something, it might look like there's an invisible force happening, but actually it's just movement of oxygen atoms.
Okay, you got me there. Okay, so I was blowing on it. All right, fair enough. Let's do it again. Okay, what do you think now?
You were moving your hands quite a lot. Maybe that was creating an air current?
Okay, you got me, Luke. Okay, so the first round I was blowing on it, and the second round I was using the air currents from my hands. But I did say I was going to use my mind, and I mean, I had to think about blowing on it, and I had to think about moving my hands. So technically, I did actually use my mind, right?
Very good, yes.
But you don't seem very impressed, right? Let's try one. Let's try one final round, okay? With an absolute control measure. Let's use this. Okay. Here we go.
I'm impressed. I can't quite straight away state how you did that. That's quite a mean feat.
Have you ever seen something like this before, Luke?
Not really, no.
All right.
Pretty interesting experiment. It would be very hard to prove what he did. You would have to do lots of testing, but as for the overall effect of leading up to the point where he makes it very, very simple and then comes out with something very complex, it's a very cool experience. But of course, as any scientist would say, further testing is needed.
Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. I can tell you, sort of getting goosebumps here with those harmonies.
Wow.
And that's kind of why I want to talk to you guys today.
Okay.
And the reason is, as individuals, when you guys come together, you create this energy.
Yes.
That's what I'm interested in. And I know that if, say, you sang a note and you guys heard the note,
Yeah.
you could easily harmonize with him, right?
Yeah.
But I want to try and find out, is it possible for you guys to create the same energy as individuals, but without hearing each other? Let me show you what I mean.
Okay.
Come with me.
Wow.
So as you guys know, all of the notes that you sing can be represented by all the notes on the piano, right?
Yep. Yes. Okay.
So what I'm going to have you do is, one by one, you're going to come up, sit right here. I want you to look at all of the notes on the piano, and then I want you just to think of one of those notes, just in your mind. And you can take all the time you need to do that, and when you're done, then you just stand back in line.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, good.
We start with you?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
You got one?
Yeah.
Okay, would you come up next for me? Okay, and finally you. Take a seat.
Okay. Okay.
You got one?
Sure.
All right. Okay, now let me ask you a quick question. You don't know the note that he's thinking of, right? And you don't know his note. And you don't know his note.
No.
And you don't know his. So in other words, none of you know each other's notes.
Yes. Correct.
Let's start with you, okay?
Okay.
Just in your mind, visualize your note, okay? Imagine you can hear it in your head, okay? Is it an A?
Yeah, it's an A. It's an A.
Let's try you. In your head, see your note and hear it, okay? You thinking of a C?
Exactly.
Final one, you, okay?
Yep.
Again, just in your head, see your note and hear it, okay? It's an E.
No ways. Wow.
Yeah?
Wow.
So you were thinking of an A, and you were thinking of a C, and you were thinking of an E. Which is, if I'm correct, a perfect A minor triad at A, C, E. But there's only 3 of you here today.
Yep.
And I'm certainly no member of Heavenly Quartets. But if I could be the 4th member, do you know what my job would be? My job would be to be able to tell people what they are going to do before they do it. A, C, E, A minor triad.
Wow. No, man. This is kind
I was shocked as well because there's no way that you could know one note. I really don't know. I can't explain how. Then like he went through the notes and he picked it, yeah.
I'm going to do something now that's probably going to upset a lot of people.
No way.
Today I'm about to try an experiment with a man who's been dead for over 300 years. To do that, I need to talk to one that's alive, here at the Castle of Good Hope. The reason that I've brought you here today is because I want to talk a little about decision making and about Jan van Riebeeck. And in particular, his decision to make that trip all the way down from Holland, all the way down and establish that halfway point here at Cape Town. And I think what's interesting for me is that he had to make that decision to do that, and in so, he changed the course of his own life. And not only did he change the course of his own life, but he changed the course of the lives of other people too. In fact, Ron, I think if it wasn't for his decision, I don't think we'd be here today having this conversation. I have something here, and this is...
Wow, I haven't seen one of those for a while.
So there's Jan van Riebeeck there on the £2 note. And these are collector's items now. This is worth quite a bit right now if you were to go on eBay and so forth. Okay. And there's a certain energy that this note has. And I want to show you what I mean by that. So I have 2 canisters here. And one of them is filled with water and the other one is empty. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it into this canister like this. And I'm going to seal it. Now these are opaque canisters. In other words, you cannot see through them. And I'm going to turn my back. Ron, I want you to mix them around like this as much as you like. And once you've done mixing them, I want you to tell me to turn around again. Okay? So I'll look away.
Okay, you can turn around.
All right. So can you just separate them for me like this? Just separate them. Very good. Okay. So you know which one it has, right? Now I told you that that note has a certain energy, and that energy I can pick up on. I know it sounds a bit strange. One of them has water from the Atlantic Ocean, the other one has that note. Now this canister over here, I feel no energy from. And this one over here is the one with the note.
Well done.
You don't really seem that impressed, Ron. I mean, it's a 50-50 choice, right? I mean, it's not that impressive, right? But let's up the stakes.
Okay.
Okay? Come with me this way. So Ron, every single container here contains water from the Atlantic Ocean, except for one. This one. And I'm going to do something now that's probably going to upset a lot of people. I want you just to hold that for me. I'm going to keep the one that has the face on it, and I'm going to take this one, fold it up, and seal it into one of the containers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you look away, and I'm going to mix up that container with all of the others so that there's no ways you can know where it is.
Okay.
Okay, so if you could just stand here and look away, I'm going to do that. You can turn around. I've mixed it up amongst all the other containers, but the thing is, I know where it is. Do you know where it is?
No idea.
Okay. I also don't want to know where it is. So I'm going to look away, and I want you to mix them around now too.
Okay, we'll turn around now.
All right, you done?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know where it is, and you don't know where it is,
No,
right?
no idea.
Okay, so if you could just stand over here for me. But there's a certain energy that that note has. And can you just tell me a little bit about Jan van Riebeeck?
On his way back to Holland, he rounded the Cape in the ship that was bringing him back. And that is, I think, where he got this revelation that the Cape would be a good place for a halfway station. Probably led to the decision by the Dutch East India Company, the year 17, who was their board of directors, to actually send Van Riebeeck out here and establish that halfway station.
Okay.
So, yeah, like they say, the rest is history.
Come here for me. So every single container contains water from the Atlantic Ocean, except for one that contains the other half of that 2 Rand note. Can you open this canister for me, please?
Sure.
Water.
Yeah.
Open this one for me. Water.
Okay.
Open that one for me. Water. But this one, I want you to open up. Take the note off. Open that canister up.
No way.
Reach in.
Wow.
And hold up the 2 edges. Do they match?
I know the space very well, and I know that this space cannot be fixed in any way. So this was really something extraordinary. Yeah, after all these years of talking about Jan, I didn't realize that he had so much energy.
What just happened?
Oh my word.
We were still surprised even now. So this guy is good. He's good.